Start each day with a smile and keep smiling for World Smile Day on Brunch with Brian. Welcome to Brunch with Brian, your daily live stream, your morning helping of success thinking. And of course, it's Friday. So here we are in formal dining room Friday. So we have to light our candles. Lots going on today. This is that cool lighter I like. Remember this one? Yeah, it's got that cool flame. All right, so we'll light our candles and welcome you in. We have a good session today and an important lesson. So what's the lesson today? The lesson today is keep smiling. Actually, you know, I really believe in smiling. I think smiling is great. How do you get a mouse to smile? Say cheese. Oh boy, that was a bad one. All right, well, but that's a smile joke, and on World Smile Day, so everybody got to keep smiling. And so today, now last night, Lynette was at a house, and it was a work for equity property. And there's a couple of things I got to update you on. Go check out the Thursdays Live with the Wolffs yesterday. That was awesome. And also, we have a video that we talked about on Wolff Bite Wednesday, which is asking the seller to make 3 more payments when you're out in the house. A crucial part of the deal meeting that can be very important for your profit. So I want you to watch this. It's getting posted today on ourwolfpack.com, and all you guys who have the upgrades and have our What to Say system can have access to that at any time when you can watch these clips over. This is a really awesome series of clips. I come on in the beginning and do a Brian's Key Point, which was, you guys saw that on the Wolff Bite Wednesday on our YouTube channel. And then obviously I go on and do the whole role play with our seller, and then come back, of course, and make a closing remarks. So that's really instrumental. It's a script I want you to follow every time you're out at someone's house and closing a deal. So it's an important part of the program. Now, all the new deal meeting clips are very important and just been recently posted. So that includes the house tour. That includes going through all the paperwork at the table, and every word you're going to have to say, every step you need to do at the deal meeting. Now, you guys who we just created a new thing called the Deal Meeting Guide, okay? And it's like our Pretty House script packet, which I actually named Pretty House Calling Guide. So I did an updated Pretty House script packet, now called the Pretty House Calling Guide. And that's got all your basic closing calls and opening call, closing call, and a lot of other information, step-by-step checklist for the Pretty House deal. Then the next one, the Deal Meeting Guide, that's a little booklet similar to the Pretty House script packet, and that is a new thing too. So we're going to have those, and we're going to have access to those on ourwolfpack.com. I did never have this deal meeting guide before, and I just finished it yesterday. So we're going to post that up there today, along with these new video clips of the deal meeting. And these are going to be really instrumental to you. Now, listen, you can get the deal meeting packet if you call our office. Printed packet with a cover and everything like that you could actually probably bring to the house and sneak looks at, depending on the situation with the seller. And listen, I want you to do this. So when you get the deal meeting packet, if you're going on ourwolfpack.com today, I want you to print the deal meeting packet, because you're not going to have one because nobody's got one. It's not been printed yet. But you can print it 16 pages, and you can print all the pages. One of the pages is everything included in that, every piece of paper that you need in that deal. It's a seller file checklist. And so that's very helpful. That's actually the very first page for the deal meeting, because when you're going out to a deal meeting, you got to be prepared. If I can give you one great lesson, it's be prepared. And all the training I've created is essentially designed to help you be prepared you run into these situations when you talk to sellers, when you're trying to buy houses out there with using 7 different strategies. Listen, if you don't know what you're doing, if you're not prepared and you don't know the right words or the steps, that's going to show very clearly to the seller, and they're not going to have any faith in you, and they're not going to do the deal with you. But when you know all the steps and you know all the right words to say and all the right scripts, you're just going to follow the system. Don't question the system. Don't reinvent the wheel. Follow the system we have laid out, and it'll just be, and then there's results at the end. You know, a pot of gold, reward at the end of the rainbow when you just follow these simple systems and scripts. I'll tell you, basically, I've really encapsulated so much of the pretty house business. Remember, there's 7 different kinds of deals. So you've got the pretty house deal. You've got, most people only coming into real estate really only understand rehabs and wholesales. Sometimes people don't even know wholesales. The general public thinks all real estate investing is all rehabs. They don't know there's all 6 other deals besides a rehab. A rehab, you know, people intuitively can grasp what a rehab is. They see some beat up house. Oh, somebody should fix that up and sell it for a profit. And it's pretty easy to grasp a rehab deal. Wholesale, that's sort of the next level that people sometimes don't understand until they sort of get their feet wet in the investing business. And then that is just basically seeing that same ugly house, getting a contract on it. You don't want to do the rehab, so you sell it to a rehabber. So it's just flipping that contract, it's wholesaling and just assigning that contract. So those 3 the rehab and wholesale is what most people understand. But obviously in our system teaching you 7 deals, we also have pretty house deals. And remember, that includes lease purchases, subject to, seller financing. All those are under pretty house deals. All those different creative, anything that you could term creative financing. So different strategies, anytime when you're making monthly payments. You know, really, that's the easiest way to explain it to most non-investors, to your sellers, is just say monthly payments. The way we do it is we buy houses using monthly payments. You know, that's the simplest, easiest description of the pretty house business. Now, beyond those 3, pretty house, rehab, wholesale, you guys type in some. What are some other deals that you know of because they're in your system? Remember, you've got 7 deals laid out in your what to say and what to do system, and each of the scripts are different. So there's scripts for the seller and there's scripts for the buyer. So you use the seller scripts from the seller manual, and then you use the checklist, the step-by-step checklist, and that'll tell you the scripts to use. It even gives you the pages. So it's got the step-by-step checklist, and then it's got, it'll tell you who the buyer is. So on a pretty house deal, guys, who's mostly your buyer? Who's buying most of your pretty houses? Do you know that? So what kind of buyer is it that buys most of your pretty houses? So you're buying a pretty house, regardless of the strategy you're using, subject to seller financing or lease purchase are the 3 most common. You're still gonna sell it on a lease purchase. Now, let's say the house is ugly, and most people, again, this is way past their understanding. They see an ugly house, they say, somebody should fix it up and sell it to make money. That's a rehabber, that's a rehab deal. Or maybe they understand somebody could buy that house, get a contract on it and sell the contract to a rehabber, never be in the chain of title. They don't understand all that, but that's a wholesale. But then we've got pretty houses. And then did any of you guys say some deals, some other kinds of deals? Short sales is one, pre-foreclosures, and that's going to be coming back big time over the next year. You're going to see a lot more, and we haven't seen any real big, huge short sale or pre-foreclosure market for, you know, 5 years, over 5 years, 10 years almost. So more than 10 years maybe. So honestly, there's going to be more pre-foreclosure short sale deals. Remember, you've got all the scripts and all the step-by-step checklists to do any kind of deal. You should be very confident that you're a transaction engineer, and no matter what kind of seller you run into, you're going to follow in the what to do manual. There's this pre-screening guide. I think it's on page 4. And it says all the different kinds of buyers and sellers and what are the details, you know, what define those. And so you can read that and immediately recognize a certain kind of seller or buyer. Basically, a pretty house seller is anybody who says yes when you say monthly payments. And then everything else is some of these other deals. So short sale, Now you could do a short sale where they say yes to monthly payments, and that's going to change your deal a little bit. Or you could do a short sale deal where they aren't going to say yes to monthly payments, and that's another different kind of deal. So that's short sales is another one. So if you're writing down all 7, it's good to know them. In the manual, the short sale, pretty house is obviously the first one. That's very important. The other ones, again, rehab and wholesale we mentioned, and then short sale we mentioned. Okay, now remember, there's also a deal called an option deal, where if you get a good enough deal on the price, you just put a cash offer in, they won't take monthly payments, and then you just sell it for more. So it's kind of like a wholesale except with a pretty house. So that's called an option. And then there's AX deals, and that's a signing contract term system, which is another deal. This is a heck of a lot like a wholesale. You're signing a contract, which is just like wholesale, but this is on a house that's over leveraged. So there's a couple of little twists on this. This really could have almost just fallen under the pretty house realm, but because we're dealing with over leveraged houses there, Ron wanted to put a different name on that kind of deal. So on houses, and this is going to come back strong in the next few years, and we haven't seen so many axe deals where people owe more on the house than what it's worth. Do you think that's going to happen in the next year or two? I definitely think it will. So be on the lookout for axe deals. So that's all the different deals, and except for work for equity deals. I don't want you to forget work for equity. Now that's one. If you see the ugly house, but the seller says yes, I'll do monthly payments, then bingo, that's going to be probably a work for equity strategy. Now the property that Lynette was looking at yesterday, that property, it was a little bit more than a pretty house polish, because when it starts to be cabinets, I don't think the roof needed replacing. But the cabinets weren't good, some of the flooring, that one was livable though. Obviously somebody could live in there. It's not so torn up that someone can't live in there. So that's the kind of property that's good for a work for equity strategy. So don't forget work for equity. If some seller says, yes, I'll do monthly payments, but the house is kind of torn up, you don't have to fix it up before you sell it. You can just go to a work for equity buyer. So those are all the 7 deals. So let's attack this weekend. Let's get everything rolling that we can get rolling right now this weekend, and really make some calls. Let's get on the phone this weekend and pound the phones. Let's get tough. Now, what role do you have to be in if you're going to be tough on the phone? Master caller me. So now another thing that we talked about, it was very important on Tuesday, was our new, I like to do a little wrap up on Friday here, is one of the key things we talked about was our new paradigm for time management. What was that? It was using role control. So not only, and you can get these forms. Lynette's going to say that the cutoff was midnight, but I'm going to tell you, if you write in support@thewollfcouple.com or call 888-RICH-NOW, Van will type those in. You guys can still get these forms, and these are time management forms that also include your role control. And now the way you use role control, a lot of you guys have some of the role control forms and the basic role control packet. And so you sort of understand, you filled some of these things out, and you actually have a role definition chart for master caller me. And if you want to be master caller me and it's time to make your calls and you're all anxious and nervous newbie, what do? You look at your chart and you start reading over master caller me. And I'm telling you, the confidence just swells up inside you. So if you're making calls this weekend, I am master caller me. Let's all say that. I am master caller me. Okay, so that's what I want for you guys this weekend. If you're getting on the phone, I want everybody getting on the phone this weekend. Even if you call some FSBOs, if you don't have leads to call your own FSBOs. Try to roll from the opening call right into the closing call. The best script for that is the new basic pretty house closing call is what we call it. Basic pretty house closing call. And that even has Lynette's assumptive close, which is a new script I've never included anywhere, but now I'm including it. And you know what? I'm going to post 2 things today. I'm going to post the new pretty house. It used to be called a pretty house script packet, and now we're calling it the pretty house calling guide. And the other thing is called the deal meeting guide. So the deal meeting guide and the pretty house calling guide. Those are the 2 new little booklets that are basically going to take you through the pretty house business. And like I said, I'm okay if you take the deal meeting guide out to the house And if you have your portfolio, like I said, and if you're walking around the house or something, you can definitely look at that sometimes. You can't sit there and read it, probably. However, this is the other cool thing. On virtual deal meetings, you can read it. I mean, you can put it right over the TV screen. You know, you can put it right over your monitor, your screen, and you can actually read it right off there, and the person thinks you're looking at their face and you're just reading it. So that's kind of a new magical little trick, guys, that these virtual deal meetings, and that's the scary thing about a real deal meeting, is you kind of have to memorize the script a little bit. And now these new scripts in the deal meeting guide are really crucial, and they even go through, and I've never had this before, where they go through everything that you say all the way through the pretty house deal. And as you go through the standard purchase and sale contract, that's really important, or the lease with option contract. We call them agreements, not contracts. But either one of those agreements, I want you to actually learn what you have to say basically on each clause. Just say what I say, and in the new deal meeting guide, it's all in there, all the exact words. So really trying to give you guys the nitty-gritty, what you need to get these deals closed, you know, the exact words, all the very precise steps, and give you confidence that you have the training you need to really kick butt at this and close deals in all kinds of ways. I didn't even get to my card. Got caught up in the training. It's, what is it today? World Smile Day. So we love to smile. You know, actually, you know the smiley face? Everybody can picture the smiley face. It's a little yellow button with the eyes and the smile, right? And you can picture the smiley face. Well, guess when that was created? There was a man named Harvey Ball, and he was an artist, a graphic artist, and he was hired by an insurance company in Massachusetts. And they said, you know what? We want to increase employee morale in the office. And they were going to create posters and buttons. And so they asked him to do something. So he created the smiley face. And this was in 1963. He completed it in about 10 minutes, and he made $45. Good job. So Harvey Ball then, actually 2 years before he died, he actually founded the World Smile Foundation. So that's neat, improving the world one smile at a time. How great is that? Yeah? So Harvey Ball, thank you for the smiley face, created in 1963. And actually by 1971, they'd sold over 50 million buttons. So that's why we love the smiley face, and it always picks up your spirit. So why don't you get a smiley face in your house? I was actually going to print smiley faces and show them. I didn't have time. But smiley faces are great and definitely remind you to smile. So it's Name Your Car Day. Did you ever have a name for your car? That's kind of cute. It's Walk or Bike to School Day. It's Custodian Day. Be nice to your custodian. Manufacturing Day. Body Language Day. Isn't body language so important? Now, you really notice this when you're at deal meetings, not so much on the phone, obviously, but body language is very important. I read a book on body language when I was like 20, and I realized, wow, that's really important to understand that. And I do pretty much understand, and I can read body language pretty well. Kids Music Day. It's Diversity Day. There's so many things. Guardian Angel Day. Now, Lynette's mom would love that. She loved angels, but she's passed now. Platter Day. I should have wore plaid today. No Alcohol Day today, okay? And Farm Animals Day. I don't know where they come up with these. But birthdays, Richard III, the famous king in Shakespeare's play, was born. I don't know how they all know this, but obviously they have good records. Gandhi was born today. Nonviolent protest, great man there. Sting was born today in 1951. And let's see. Groucho Marx, yay! Now Groucho Marx, you just think of Groucho and you gotta have a smile on your face, right? Groucho was really a funny guy, and that's a really great thing. If if you're funny, if you're naturally funny and can bring smiles to people's faces, what a great gift that is. And we have a few people in the world like that who are really good at that. Lynette's not big on jokes, but she always brings a smile to my face and to yours too, I'm sure. So Peanuts, you know who brought a lot of smiles to faces was Charles Schulz. So what famous comic did Charles Schulz come up with? Peanuts, with Charlie Brown and Lucy and Linus and Snoopy and everybody in 1950. 1950 came up with that. On this day he was first published. That's pretty cool. And so I guess that's all my jokes on smiling today. I did have one other one, but I forgot it and I didn't write it down. So I love smiling though, guys. Obviously having World Smile Day today is a big day for Brunch with Frank because we're so big on smiling. So just make sure you smile extra much today and tell everybody that you know it's World Smile Day. That'll bring a smile to their face. So have a great weekend and we're gonna see you on Monday. I'm trying to think the next big thing we're doing. Keep your eyes on our next Taking Action Virtual and our Leads to Deeds event, and we have lots of great stuff coming up all the time. So until I see you guys, we did a lot of training today, so it's always good to touch on the real estate and the life stuff. And just today, the goal though is World Smile Day, so keep smiling and stay positive. And so keep expecting success and taking action. And I will see you back here on Monday at the same time.